Sir, the way the agriculture minister and Mr. Piyush Goyal have come out and really defended and also tried to explain in the sense that why Indians, particularly farmers and also members of the fisher folk community, are not at a loss, and there is a major confusion in terms of people being portrayed that they will heavily lose out if this deal really happens and entirely goes through. What are your thoughts on that?
They would heavily lose out, but they said that we will not allow agricultural products to come into India. They said so, remember? They've been making public statements. Why have they allowed? They are talking about, see what they are talking about, I'll tell you. That DDG is the feed that comes out of ethanol, right? And that feed that can be given to fish and is given to cattle. So therefore they are saying that that will become cheap. That is correct. We don't dispute any of that. But that is what is the, what is it called, the genetic, that is the genetic food that comes, right? That's what it is. The end product of soya is genetics. And that's what they're going to feed. But that it doesn't take away from the fact that apples will come. See, we don't need to import rice from America. America imports rice from us. And you know very well that as far as wheat is concerned, the Food Corporation of India is, is already overflowing. Its godowns are overflowing with wheat. We don't need any of that. We need to export wheat. In fact, that is hurting the farmers because we don't allow them to export wheat. So on the one hand, you are hurting farmers. Therefore, we don't need wheat from the US. We don't need rice from the US. So what is the US giving us? They are giving us what? We have to buy aircrafts. We have to buy defense equipment. And let me tell you another thing. You talk about security of India, okay? Let me just give you one fact, which people probably are not aware of. We all know, and that is part of the official records of this country, that this country needs 42 air squadrons to defend itself. 42 air squadrons. How many do we have? 26. 26. Which means we are short by 16 squadrons. Right? What have they done in the last 11 years? Even this morning, I found out that they were purchasing now Rafales in huge quantities, right? So what were they doing for 11 years? And what is Rafale? It's a second 2.5 generation aircraft. What does Pakistan have? It will have J-35 from the Chinese, which is a 5th generation aircraft. Even the Russians have not given us the 5th generation aircraft. And I doubt very much that the Americans will do.
Do you feel this is a loss-making and an anti-India deal which we have?
No. This is exactly opposite to the kartavya, to the duty that the Prime Minister is talking about, duty towards the nation. And I told you, I read to you those. That's very interesting, and I'll repeat it again in English because that's important for you. I talked about 2 executive orders. That is 14066 and 14329. Now the 14066 executive order deals with Russia and the export of Russia oil, and that is to be prevented because the Americans have been saying you are buying oil from there, you are refining it, you are selling it, and that is giving money to the Russians, and they are then financing the Ukraine war. This is the argument, right or wrong. I don't personally agree with that argument, but that's the argument they have made. And we have accepted it. Why should we accept it? Is it not in our interest to buy oil from wherever we want to buy? Why should we buy Venezuela oil? It is the worst kind of oil. Now, under this Executive Order 1466, he says that the United States is clear that we are now following the diktat of the United States. And therefore, the 25% penalty which was imposed has been taken away. That's the 14329 executive order, right? Now, what does it further say? I have determined, that is Donald Trump has determined, that India has taken significant steps to address the national emergency described in the Executive Order 14066 and to align sufficiently with the United States on national security, foreign policy, and economic matters. So our foreign policy, our economic matters, our national security will now be aligned to the United States of America as a matter of policy. Why should we accept that? Why should the government of India accept that? Why should the foreign minister not make it clear? Why is the foreign minister always passing the buck to the commerce minister and the commerce minister passing the buck to the foreign minister? And the minister for oil is not speaking. The person who should speak and tell parliament is the minister for oil. No. He has not spoken. And the other people are just footballing the issue towards each other, and each of them saying, I don't know, you ask the other. So what's happening to my country? This is going to be done. I mean, all the great visionary things that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru did. I mean, we wanted a strong industrial base for our own country. That's how public sector was invested in. That's how public sector came up, because there was no private sector investment available at that point in time, because there was no real private industry available. So we built an industrial base. We brought the green revolution. We became self-sufficiently in food grains. Right? We built the IITs. What is there done? Kartavya Bhavan is built. Seva Tirath is built. Kartavya Path is built. What has he built? He's inaugurated all the projects that were started by other governments. That's what he has done. Is this fair to my country? Is it fair to the people of India?
So lastly, it's very ironic that while PM Modi and his entire cabinet had been pressing and repeatedly stating Make in India should be priority, but this is an absolute irony, because
the only Make in India is the unique way in which elections are held and won. That is the Make in India. Right? What is the Make in India? I want to know. Telecom equipment not made in India. Mobile phones assembled in India, not made in India. Right? What is made in India are our satellite, vision of Pandit Nehru. DRDO, vision of Pandit Nehru. Atomic energy, vision of Pandit Nehru. Deal with the US, a nuclear deal, vision of Dr. Manmohan Singh. What is their vision? Kartavya. Kartavya of what? Apna. Satta paane ka kartavya. That is the Kartavya Path. Thank you.